Top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Tensions flare at UN Council between Guyana and Venezuela. Patterson and Hughes concerned about census as Venezuelans continue to pour into Guyana. And investigation into the death of Adriana Young. Police top brass mum on several key questions. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Wednesday, May 7 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. Tensions over the Essibbo region erupted once again, this time in Geneva, where Guyana and Venezuela clashed during the UN Human Rights session as Venezuela took issue with Guyana's mention of the territorial claim, prompting a diplomatic back and forth. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
On Tuesday, during the review of Guyana at the 49th session of the Universal Periodic Review by the United Nations Human Rights Council, Guyana's Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Unij Walron, delivered opening remarks noting that Guyana has achieved approximately 67% of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, despite facing considerable national challenges.
Guyana faces several challenges as a small developing nation, including the impacts of climate change and a spurious claim to 2/3 of our territory.
However, Waldron's remarks drew immediate objections from Venezuela's permanent representatives at the United Nations in Geneva, Ambassador Alexander Chanez de Luz. He requested an intervention on a point of order citing Article 113 of the General Assembly's Rules of Procedure. The ambassador urged the Guyanese delegation to avoid raising territorial issues in what he described as a strictly bilateral matter not suitable for discussion in the UPR. Despite Venezuela's objections, Guyana's permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador Caroline Rodriguez-Burkett, during our presentation explained that the territorial dispute could not be ignored due to its adverse impact on the human rights of Guyanese citizens.
And let me say that whatever threatens our development threatens the human rights of our citizens. And so it was necessary for us to mention the spurious claim to 2/3 of our territory.
The Vice President of the Human Rights Council then intervened, reminding all delegates to adhere to the established legal framework of the Council, the General Assembly, and the Security Council.
To remind you that it is important to avoid bilateralizing what is essentially a multilateral process.
Ambassador Rodriguez-Burkett responded by defending Guyana's position, stating that her delegation was merely fulfilling the UPR's requirements by reporting on threats to human rights.
And I take note, I was just responding to what was raised. And as the UPR process asks us to identify in our report the threats, and we view this as a major one, it was included.
On May 2, 2025, just one day after the International Court of Justice ordered Venezuela to suspend its plans for elections in Guyana's Essibbo region, Venezuela rejected the ruling. The government of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela stated that it does not recognize ICJ's jurisdiction and will not comply with any of its decisions. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Tiana. Antonio Day reports now that David Patterson, the AFC chairman, is urging the Guyana Elections Commission to disclose information regarding allegations of Venezuelans being registered in Guyana to prevent irregularities in the National Register of Registrants.
The AFC is deeply concerned that in an election year, where the vast majority of Guyanese has expressed concerns about the bloated GCOM electoral list, plus the rumors that thousands of Venezuelans, whether entitled or not, has been included on the GCOM list.
That was David Patterson, chairman of the Alliance for Change. During a recent National Assembly session, Home Affairs Minister Robeson announced that 15,157 Venezuelans registered between October 1 and November 30, 2024. With regional figures, Region 1, 7,507, Region 4, 23, Region 7, 1,001, and Region 8, 65. He was responding to questions posed by opposition member Tabitha Sarabohali. Patterson remarked that given that it is an election year and no results for the national census have been publicized, the overwhelming amount of Venezuelans here could impact the official list of electors. It is within that context the AFC member is calling on GCOM to put systems in place that would ensure that there is transparency at this year's polls.
The AFC once again calls on GCOM to implement enhanced measures of voters' identification, including biometrics and cameras in the place of poll, to ensure that the general and regional elections of 2025 is free, fair.
On the other hand, AFC leader Nigel Hughes believes that the influx of Venezuelans will significantly impact Guyana's population distribution. He's disappointed that there has been no release of the 2022 census.
With all this speculation, and clearly with the Minister of Home Affairs not being fully aware of exactly how many Venezuelans are in Guyana, it makes the production of the census even more important.
From 2021 to 2024, Guyana naturalized 71 Venezuelans. In 2021, 7 were naturalized in Region 4. In 2022, 8 in Region 3, 23 in Region 4, and 1 in Region 6. For 2023, 6 were naturalized in Region 3 and 9 in Region 4. In 2024, 1 in Region 3, 13 in Region 4, and 4 in Region 10. It is important to note that every Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, as well as any Commonwealth citizen residing in Guyana for a year or longer, who will turn 18 years of age, is eligible to be added to the official list of electors. I am Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. There is more news ahead. Thanks for staying tuned to the HGP Nightly News. No answer. That's basically all that attorneys got from the top brass of the Guyana Police Force as the family of Adriana Young presses on for answers over the manner of the child's death. Here is more. It would appear as if the Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken is unaware of the stage of which the Adriana Young investigation now stands. Lawyers representing the victim's family met with the Commissioner on Wednesday morning, but they left that meeting with several unanswered questions.
Who really is heading this investigation? Who the investigators are in this investigation? No answer. What really are you investigating? Are you investigating, have you ruled out homicide? Are you investigating homicide? No answer. Samples have been sent overseas for testing. What tests are you hoping to be conducted from those samples? No answer.
That's lead attorney for Adriana's family, Dr. Dexter Todd. It was President Irfan Ali who said that he instructed the Commissioner of Police to assemble a special team to lead the investigation into all the circumstances surrounding the death of the child. Lead attorney Todd said that the police seemed ill-prepared for the meeting.
The police force, all that they were prepared to say from the commissioner's level is that they are doing a comprehensive investigation. But they're not at liberty at this stage to say what really the comprehensive investigation will entail.
Attorney U.C. Anderson said that Young's family could not get a response from the Commissioner of Police and his team on the family's desire to have a second autopsy done.
We asked specifically whether or not the force is opposed to a second autopsy. We were told no answer where that is concerned as well.
Adriana Young went missing on Wednesday, April 23, 2025, while on a family outing with her grandmother and other relatives at the Doubleday International Hotel poolside at Tushin on the east bank of Essibbo. Her body later appeared in the pool of the Doubleday Hotel on April 24, 2025. The discovery of Adriana's body in the swimming pool of the hotel sparked protest action at Tushin on the east bank of Essibbo. The very pool was searched prior to the appearance of the child's body. It has been confirmed that initial searches of that pool didn't yield any evidence that a body was in that swimming pool. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Meanwhile, as we continue to bring you coverage of the Adriana Young case, you will hear in this report of the concerns by the family's attorneys of premature statements, even from the highest office in the land. In the absence of the toxicology report, it is premature to say that Adriana Young died by drowning. That's the contention of the attorney for the family of Adriana Young, Dr. Dexter Todd. He questioned that since the police are claiming that they are not in possession of the autopsy report, how is it that pronouncements are in the public domain about the cause of death of Adriana Young?
You want to say, would it not have been better to say that the entire autopsy process is incomplete, and therefore it will be premature at this stage to pronounce on a possible cause of death? Because I think that is what assisted in exacerbating this entire situation.
In providing an update to the press, the Guyana Police Force said that DNA samples obtained from the owner of the Doubleday Hotel and those of Adriana Young were taken by a forensic investigator for advanced testing and analysis at the Mount Sinai Health System, New York. Those samples left on May 1 and have not yet returned.
That was raised, and we had requested, because the family wishes to have a second review. And so we had asked to see whether that, but it's not available. It was not given to the police. So they don't have a preliminary report as yet.
According to Todd, the lingering question would be whether a sample of water or residue from the pool at the Doubleday Hotel was taken by investigators to compare it with the water that was found in the body of Adriana Young.
So what are you matching that against? How are you doing the comparative analysis? They can't see if any water was taken from that pool. And I tell you, we were all seeing that the pool was empty, as dry as day.
An initial forensic autopsy of 11-year-old Adriana Young revealed that she died by drowning. Young's body was discovered in the swimming pool of the Doubleday Hotel 1 day after the Guyana Police Force erroneously reported that she was seen leaving the location in a vehicle. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. This is the HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. There is more news ahead. Thanks for staying with us here on the HGP Nightly News. Attorney General Anil Nandl is vigorously defending the decision to lay terrorism charges against protesters involved in last month's violent unrest. He says the actions ranging from looting to arson fit the legal criteria for terrorism under Guyana's laws, following outrage. Here is more.
With over 40 individuals charged and remanded to prison for allegedly inciting public terror during recent protests, Attorney General Anil Nandl is standing firm behind the police's decision to prosecute them under terrorism laws. The protest erupted after the post-mortem results confirmed that Adriana Young died by drowning. Nandl emphasized that the charges are not excessive and are in full accordance with the laws of Guyana.
I say to those who say that this is the wrong charge, I say to them, we couldn't find a better charge.
Guyana's chief legal advisor explained that the Anti-Terrorism and Related Activities Act defines terrorism as any act done with intent to strike fear in people, to cause injury, death, or damage property. According to him, the actions during the protest, including looting, arson, and violence, fit this definition.
Which part of this here is excessive? Whosoever with the intent to strike terror in people, when you light the road afire and you robbing everybody that passing the road, when you go in people's supermarket and you rob everybody in the supermarket and the supermarket itself, when you got cutlass walking on the road and you chopping vagrants on the road, what you intend to do if not to strike terror in people?
Nandl concluded a statement by affirming the right to peaceful protest, but cautioned that looting, violence, intimidation of citizens and business owners will not be tolerated. Tianoko reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Antonio Day tells us now that leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, is calling for Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken to be sent immediately on administrative leave in order for an independent probe into the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young.
After a series of twisted tales surrounding the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young, whose lifeless body was discovered at Doubleday Hotel swimming pool in Tushan, East Bank, Essibbo, many citizens have expressed no confidence in the Guyana Police Force nor its Commissioner Clifton Hicken. Leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, is contending that in order for there to be an independent and unprejudiced probe into the death of the 11-year-old, the head cop of the police force must be sent on administrative leave.
The continued presence of the current Commissioner of Police in the office of Commissioner of Police continues to interfere with the conduct of a fair investigation into her death.
The continuous silence and unforthcoming details from Hicken regarding the young child's case is evident that the Commissioner may possess information that may not be privy to the public. Hughes, an attorney at law, said that the presence of Hicken must be curtailed and he must not participate in any impartial probe related to this matter.
And since the Guyana Police Force falls under his responsibility, we do not believe that a credible, internationally conducted investigation can take place once he occupies that office.
Opposition leader Aubrey Norton had said former Region 3 Commander Khalid Mandal must be charged for creating public mischief.
The Guyana Police Force must be fair, stop being political, and ensure that the issue wanted bulletin for Khalid Mandal and subsequently charge him for creating public mischief and attempting to pervert and obstruct the course of justice.
Prominent attorney and forensic science specialist Dr. Dexter Todd is now the lead lawyer in the Adriana Young case, amid apparent convolutions and no progress by the relevant authorities regarding the matter's status. I'm Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Your regional news is up next.
Good evening and welcome to Wednesday's edition of the Regional News. Russian President Vladimir Putin will hold talks with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in Moscow today, and the two leaders will sign a strategic partnership agreement. Russia's war in Ukraine has led to a breakdown in its relations with most Western states and prompted Moscow to strengthen ties with other countries that share its desire to conquer the influence of what it calls, quote-unquote, collective West, including the United States. Since 2022, Russia has already signed strategic partnership pacts with China, North Korea, and Iran. Venezuela has a fraught recent history with the United States marked by broken diplomatic relations, sanctions, and accusations of criminal activity and coup plotting. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Tuesday met with the heads of government from the Eastern Caribbean and the Bahamas to underscore the urgent need for enhanced regional cooperation to combat drug and firearms trafficking and illegal migration, key drivers of violence and instability. A release by State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce said Rubio encouraged Caribbean partners to strengthen intelligence sharing, security cooperation, and border security through initiatives like the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative. With the hurricane season less than 1 month away, Rubio announced the reactivation of 2 U.S.-administered programs to strengthen early warning systems and provide rapid, life-saving assistance across the Caribbean. Participants in the meeting included Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett of Dominica, Prime Minister Gaston Browne of Antigua and Barbuda, Prime Minister Philip Davids of the Bahamas, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre of St. Lucia, Prime Minister Declan Mitchell of Grenada, and Prime Minister Terence Dew of St. Kitts and Nevis. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says Jamaicans can expect a flood of surveillance cameras as the government ramps up a technology-driven approach to crime fighting. Responding to repeated public questions about the Jamaican Eye program and failure of the Jamaican Constabulary Force to deploy body-worn cameras on planned operations, Holness said that not only are cameras being installed, but the scale and sophistication of the rollout will be unprecedented, quote unquote. So for all the people who are quick to retort, where are the cameras? Where are the cameras? You're gonna get the cameras so till you do not know what to do with them. He said that the government is close to launching a centralized C5 command center where surveillance from across the country will be monitored. Holness framed the initiative as part of building a national infrastructure of safety, aiming to make streets safer, boost public confidence in communities, and strengthen the nation's capacity to combat crime. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
Tensions flare between Guyana and Venezuela at UN Human Rights Council. Patterson and Hughes concerned about census as Venezuelans continue to pour into Guyana. An investigation into the death of Adriana Young, police top brass mum on several key questions. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.